Okay, as we continue, we have another radical function that says g of x is equal to the square root of 7 minus 3x. Now again, this is the square root function, okay? So when we typically think of the square root function, we think of two identical things multiplying together to get me something. So therefore, I need to consider only those values of x that will produce a non-negative solution. Okay, those are the only things I can take the square root of, non-negative numbers, 0 and the positives. So what I do is I say, where is 7 minus 3x greater than or equal to 0? That's all I want to know. All I want to know is what values of x will be positive or equal to 0. Those are the only things I can take the square root of in the real number system. So again, this is an easy two-step equation where the first thing we do is we subtract off our 7. Here's a very common mistake among students. They see this minus sign, they say minus 3x, and so they think that they have to somehow add the 7 to both sides. But you're trying to get rid of the 7. If I add 7 right here, 7 plus 7 will be 14. It will not disappear. So I actually have to subtract 7 on both sides. Now they cancel out, leaving me with the negative 3x is greater than or equal to negative 7. And we all know that if I divide or multiply by a negative number, my inequality symbol changes. So if I divide by negative 3, this says now that x now is less than or equal, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, 7/3. So that's my domain. All values of x that will be less than or equal to 7/3. So I'm actually going to give you a pictorial representation of this on the number line, and I'm going to write it in set builder notation. Okay, so I'm going to erase this easy two-step that we did to get to our solution. Okay, so if I were to draw a real number line like so, and identify 7/3, we know that 7/3 is actually 2 1/3. So somewhere the whole number 2 is here, and the whole number 3 is there between those two. So this would say that I would have a closed circle because it says x must be less than or equal to 7/3, and I go to the left. And again, for set builder notation, the domain is equal to the set of all x such that x is less than or equal to 7/3. That's my domain.